Tom Downey for Chat Sports here, our NFL draft expert at Chat Sports. Today's video, I'm revealing my top 10 quarterback prospects in this year's class. Before we get to my list, I want to hear from you. Who is your QB1 this year? Is it Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Ridder, Corral, somebody else altogether? Let me know in the comment section right now. Number one for me, it's Malik Willis. And in general, I don't love this QB class. I think it's pretty middling in terms of the top tier groupings. That's why I've got Willis at 1, but a second round grade. All of these guys would have checked in behind Mac Jones as QB 6 for me in last year's class behind that big 5. Willis is pros, right? Awesome arm talent. The legs, the athletic ability that NFL teams covet. I'm going to bet on the modern NFL on the athlete and the upside over the statue in the pocket. The problem for Malik Willis and why he's not viewed as even a Trey Lance type of prospect, he is not good in the pocket right now. He struggles in that area. He does not see the field well at all. And that offense, was it because of Malik Willis or what? They did not attack the middle of the field. His best plays, his highlight reel plays, are out of structure. Sometimes because he missed the open guy. The open guy was there, and he didn't see it, didn't take it, scrambled around, and then made the great play. The arm strength's awesome. The dual threat ability is very impressive as well, but the consistency is not there, and that is a red flag for me. So if he hits, he can be a top 15, top 10 QB in this year's class. But I also think he needs an entire year to learn and adjust to the NFL level. He is a project. You have to be patient with him. Kenny Pickett is then my QB number 2 here out of Pitt. His breakout year was wildly impressive. He went from being not great to more touchdowns in his senior year than he had his entire career previously. Now, there are some pros here. I think, in general, a very accurate passer. And he can actually make some plays out of structure. I think he's a much better athlete than most people have given him credit for. But the tiny hand stuff, it actually is a problem. And the reason why is because he fumbles a lot. Pickett has a fumbling problem, 38 career fumbles. That's a red flag. Hand size doesn't matter. It's not a killer, but it's a red flag. More so than the hands is he is skittish in the pocket. And early in his career at Pitt, the supporting cast offensive line sucked. They were bad. They did not protect him. And I think that kind of scarred him a little bit. He's an older prospect. He turns 24 in June. I don't know how much more of a ceiling he has. I believe he can be a low-end starter. I think I have a Teddy Bridgewater comp to him, who I loved, too much so, coming out of Louisville. When the first guy's open, he's going to make that play for you. He can also make plays out of structure, but he reminds me some of Jared Goff as well under pressure, and that is also an issue. Not an elite arm, but not a terrible one either. How many franchise QBs do you believe are in this year's draft class? Is it 0? Is it 1? Is it 2, 3, 4? Are you feeling great about it? Let me know right now in the comments section. My number 3 QB is Desmond Ridder, who, to be blunt, I was surprised by how much I liked him in my study versus my live watching. And the reasoning why is I saw the flashes of the pre-snap processing, identifying blitzes, covers, all that stuff that other QBs lack in this year's class. Now, post-snap, with his decision-making and his accuracy, he is maddeningly inconsistent. He's not steady from that area. He's got a good arm, but when he misses bad. He never quite dominated the way I wanted him to at the G5 level, but he's a good athlete. Much like, say, a Dak Prescott, he wants to win from the pocket more so than as a runner. I want him to add some mass there. The flashes are intriguing. Alex Smith is a good player comparison from Landon Strong. I think that's exactly right there, by the way. If he hits, there are some Dak Prescott tendencies to his game. Not saying he'll hit. That's a lot easier said than done. But he shows some of those high-level stuff that even Kenny Pickett didn't show on a consistent level at Pitt. Now, we'll be live for the entire 2022 NFL Draft on both YouTube at youtube.com/chatsportstv and on Rumble at rumble.com/NFL Daily. So if you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Rumble for more coverage on the NFL Draft. Number 4, Matt Corral. His game can be summed up in one word: quick. Quick release, quick reads, generally pretty quick athlete as well. He's not that big. And in what I call the Mickey Mouse offense, it limits him. That's why he's got a third-round grade for me. In a more pro-style offense, I would love to see him in it. People called Justin Fields a one-read QB, which I thought was BS. If Justin Fields is a one-read QB, Matt Corral's a quarter-read QB. The offense was RPOs, play-action screens, and design vertical shots. There were not very many true drop-back, read 2x2 to the left, to the right reads. Those did not exist. If you're going to run an RPO offense, this is your guy. Big jump when Lane Kiffin took over. The frame and the skinniness gives me concerns about his durability. There were also high school rumors that he got involved to a fight with Wayne Gretzky's kid, and that's why he left his original high school. His coaches have really praised, and his teams have praised his attitude in recent years, but there is some emotional maturity stuff that was previous. You got to vet. When he's on the first read, he's accurate. Beyond that, I don't know. That's why he's a third-round grade. Sam Howell, next up here out of North Carolina, much like Matt Corral, ran the Mickey Mouse offense, right? He wasn't running a high-level offense that asked him to do a bunch of reads. It was RPOs. And when the first read wasn't there for Sam Howell, he was, I'll call it bad, call it what it was, under pressure. He can make plays out of structure, but he took a lot of sacks he did not need to take. He scrambled a lot. He led the NCAA in RPO and deep shots. That's what the offense was. RPO, deep shot. RPO, deep shot. Because of the beard and the frame, the Baker Mayfield comps are fair. He kind of looks like Baker Mayfield, right? He is a good athlete, by the way. He's able to make some plays with his legs. I think he is going to make it in the NFL. He's tough. Coaches love his effort and character. He can go downfield, but he's not consistent beyond that first read. And that is what separates the great college QBs like a Howell and Corral, etc., from being a great NFL QB. That is what concerns me. He can run, but the dip in production is a red flag. Over or under 2.5 QBs drafted in round 1. Type in O for over. There are at least 3 QBs in round 1, or type in U for under. Carson Strong, number 6 out of Nevada. When he is in terms of the classic pocket passer drop back guys, he is arguably the best in this year's class. The problem is all he can do. And I have learned my lesson from Josh Rosen. I believe in the modern day NFL, unless you are elite pre and post snap, which Carson Strong is certainly not, you have to be able to win outside of structure. Carson Strong cannot do it. He can throw outside the numbers. He's got a good arm, can throw it deep downfield, but the mobility's bad, and there are major concerns on his knee. He's got a really weird thing I can't pronounce right. Osteochondritis dissecans is the name of the knee issue. It's a joint condition. What was the note here? In February 2021, he had cadaver cartilage added to his right knee. That's how bad that knee was. That's a huge red flag for NFL teams. I have heard he has not interviewed very well, which is a concern too. So it's a 4th round grade, QB6 for me on Strong. I just think he's going to be a backup. Speaking of backups, that is what Bailey Zappe is, and we'll go quicker on some of these other guys here. The production was obscene at Western Kentucky. Just off the charts, stupid production. Almost 6,000 yards, 62 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Case Keenum, similar style offenses, right? By the way, almost went to Tennessee instead of Western Kentucky. Oh, what could have been for the Volunteers, although Hendon Hooker was pretty good. The traits are lacking here. Not a strong arm, great touch, but he's going to be too limited in the NFL to be anything more than a Case Keenum-style QB. 5th round grade. We'll be live for the entire 2022 NFL Draft, so make sure you guys are subscribed on YouTube and, of course, on Rumble as well. Wherever you're watching, make sure you follow us. Turn those noties on. We'll be live for the entirety of this year's draft. All right, Kaleb Eleby out of Western Michigan. Maybe not a name you've heard much of. Not the biggest guy, a bit undersized. I thought his film was pretty solid, though. He probably shouldn't have turned pro. Probably needed one more year. He did benefit from D. Eskridge and Sky Moore, but I thought he's got a good motion, compact motion, tight spiral. Not a cannon for an arm, but it's a solid arm. He can go deep downfield, had success there. Fumbles are a problem. Average athlete, average arm strength, but I think he can operate your offense in the way you want a backup-style QB to do. If there is a sleeper in this year's class, and I don't know if there is, Eleby's my pick. Who is your sleeper at QB this year? And by the way, none is a perfectly valid answer. I forget who said it. I think it was one of the PFF guys, that all the QBs this year were QB3. That's exactly right. And it's tough to find a true sleeper at QB. But if you have one, let me know in the comments section. Jack Coan from Notre Dame, Wisconsin legend here is QB9. He can attack the middle of the field. He can have success in the intermediate, making plays. He was great against Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. But he's not a great athlete. I don't love his arm. I think he is limited. The C.J. Beathard strengths and weaknesses, the style of play, the build, all of that screams Jack Coan to me. 6th round grade. He'll probably go earlier. He is tough, but I think he's a backup in the NFL. E.J. Perry out of Brown here is my number 10 QB, 7/UDFA grade. He's a great athlete. Dual threat, tested really well, was heavily involved on the ground at Brown after playing at Boston College. Did a baseball scholarship to play at BC too, which is kind of cool. He's tough. I like that. He's not a good passer. Like he's just bad at throwing the football right now. The footwork is bad. There's a loopy motion. He wasn't a winner in college at all. He's bad under pressure. I did not see the passing ability to be more than kind of like your backup who can run the football and be successful in that area. Some other prospects who I've watched that I view as undrafted free agent types of players. Kelley, in what I think is the smallest QB class in history, is massive. 6'7", 249. Didn't test very well, though. John Navarre style here. Big arm, but he also underthrows deep balls. The accuracy was bad early in his career. He's 25 as a rookie, had a DWI issue. Finally seemed to work harder this year. I just didn't like it. Skylar Thompson's got injury problems. He's a career backup at best. I think Brock Purdy's just straight up bad. I'm sorry. Dustin Crum can run from Kent State, but again, the passing is simply not there. And I won't lie to you guys. If I don't study players, or at least research them, I'm not going to talk about them. So here are some other QBs I haven't studied, but I am aware they exist. And some of these, I watched Levi Lewis some live. Not terrible, but I haven't studied him, so I'm not going to count him there. Jarek Garantano is not good. I know that from live. I've seen some buzz for Akil Glass at Alabama A&M. Haven't studied him. Zarek Cooper's the Clemson transfer, by the way. Chris Oladunkan out of South Dakota State. And Chase Garbers, I wasn't impressed with live, but those are some other names to potentially watch for as a surprise draft pick, or more likely UDFA this year.